ourselves. There is nothing wrong with you investing your money in Africa, coming back home to America and play golf like they do. I remember 2 years ago, President Trump was addressing the African heads of states, and he said, I don't know why you guys are poor. My friends go to Africa poor, they come back rich. So for those who think the African heads of states are calling you to come home because they just want your money, wrong. We are saying, if you don't show up and you stand up and be counted, next time the contracts go to the Chinese, shut up. How do we give you contracts when we don't know where you are? How do we know about your business when you don't stand up? And that is the challenge the African heads of states are running into. Next Tuesday, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a conference going on in Nairobi. Former Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila Odinga, is now over infrastructure. His advisor called, one of the Afro-champion advisors called me and said, Ambassador, we need you to put together a coalition of African diaspora who can come in and be together with Afro-champions, be the first to know of the projects, the developmental projects that are going on in Africa. There is nothing wrong with diaspora organizations building the next Cape to Cairo highway, the next Cape to Cairo high-speed train. You can only get those contracts when you are on the table. These are all opportunities that are going to happen in Africa at a continental level. You got to realize, because of the African Continental Free Trade Area, for the first time ever, Africa is going to, the developmental agenda for Africa, we are looking at it as Africa, not as 55 different countries. So this is a tremendous entry point that if you, diaspora, if we don't organize, we are going to miss out. The heads of states are saying the diaspora must be in the front along with the Africans for this ratification, which is what we needed in order for implementation to begin, was 2 weeks ago. We are talking of a baby who has just been born. I want everybody to be clear about that. We are in a beautiful place to be on the driver's side, driver's seat of the agenda, developmental agenda for Africa. So please, if you hear anything else from me, this is the time for us to organize and stand up, and let's take Africa where Africa belongs on the world stage. But in the process, we're also helping ourselves. There is nothing wrong with you investing your money in Africa, coming back home to America and play golf like they do. That's what we want you to do. So don't look at it any other way. It's a win-win situation. So with that in mind, in Washington, we set out to then say, where do we begin? Fortunately for us, first it was the president of Zambia. He stood up and he gave us 135 hectares of land, which is about 300 acres. And when the president of Zimbabwe heard about the 135 hectares, he said, my sister, why are they giving you 135?
Hello guys, I can tell that Chihombori, she is wisdomed. I don't know why, or maybe this message has not really reached a wider, audience. But again, from this particular platform here, I'm imagining that if in case you're watching or you came across this particular work here, it is hitting you hard that what she says is very true. Just like they do, they play golf. And we can equally do the same. That is, the Africans rather. They can invest here in Africa, and then when they go there, they have all the luxuries and the pleasure that they have that the other end offers. And Chihombori has always, time and time again, stood for something, and it's very clear. And I had to, patch this one up again because I know it is from the archives. You might be asking, this thing is old, but no. The past helps us to carve the future, so we can always talk about the future if we know what the past hard for us. And I do not really want to talk much about this one, but again, if you get me, you feel me, do drop me your comment in the comment section. Let me exactly also know what you think of this particular video here, and what you think of Africa and the future of Africa at large. Let's keep on watching.
Zambia has a lot of land. He said, you see, Victoria Falls, for those of you who don't know Victoria Falls, Google it. It's a beautiful place. It's one of the best tourist destinations in Africa. He said, Victoria Falls is like a woman. When you're looking at her from the Zambian side, you're looking at her back. But when you're looking at her from Zimbabwe, the choice is yours, which view you want. So he proceeded to give us 2,000 hectares. So we have been offered 2,000 hectares of land on the Zimbabwe side of Victoria Falls, along the Zambezi River. Prime location. There, ladies and gentlemen, we, the African diaspora, in collaboration with our brothers and sisters on the continent, we are going to build our very own Wakanda. We're calling it African Diaspora Centers of Excellence. Why are we building Wakanda? Money alone is not enough to bring change, sustainable change that Africa needs. Capacity building is where it is at. Most of you may not realize that Africa today needs 1.2 million doctors. If all the diaspora, continental Africans and African-American doctors were to go home to Africa today, we're only going to meet about 30% of the need. Many heads of states thought building new hospitals, renovating old ones was the way to address the issues of healthcare. Guess what? Most of those wards, half of them are empty because there are no doctors. I like to talk about my husband's country, my own country, Ghana. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City alone than in the entire country of Ghana. So when diaspora start complaining about, oh, my mother was trying to go to the doctor, I said, because you're here. So our reality is capacity is what Africa needs. And where is that capacity? It's in the diaspora, thanks to the brain drain. At every level, every sector, the capacity Africa needs is in the diaspora, not on the continent. $7 billion is being spent every year paying salaries to expatriates going to Africa to provide services. And when I ask, why is it that you never get diaspora to fill some of those jobs, they say, Ambassador, where are they? It goes back to the database. At every level, we are losing out because we are scattered. So in Wakanda, there will be a 1,000-bed teaching hospital to train all the capacity that Africa needs. There will be one Wakanda village in each region, which will be a developmental hub for the region. So for every hospital built, there will be supporting hospitals. Also, we will have a university with technical colleges to train, again, all the capacity Africa needs. Agricultural farm and an agricultural college, hotels for hospitality, a continent with some of the best tourist destinations. We're only realizing about 4% of the tourism dollars in the world. Agriculture for a continent with over 65% of the arable land in the world, we are importing food. I am embarrassed to say that. Africa should be and will be the breadbasket of the world. In addition, in our Wakanda, we're also going to have a pharmaceutical manufacturing. Most of you are also not aware that most of the sub-Saharan African countries, drugs going into those countries, close to 50% have zero bioavailability. That means they are not medication. They are chalk, in some cases, poisonous substances. Millions of people are dying every year thinking they are taking blood pressure medicines, diabetic medicines, antibiotics, when they're taking poison. Those are murderers, outside murderers coming in. Millions of them every day. And nobody is held accountable. We have got to stop that. We must manufacture our own drugs. And of course, there will be a power plant, infrastructure, housing to support the development. It's going to be a very modern city with roads that are ready for monorail around how Africa should be. build the Africa that we want. For everything that's happening in Wakanda, there's going to be down this. Job 20, educators who are saying 15, 20 years from now, access to healthcare is a thing of the past. Access to power is a thing of the past. Access to water is a thing of the past. We have teams from the diaspora working on the various sectors. Can we not do that, guys?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely, yes, we can. And all we gotta do is organize, because the brains that we need are endless in the diaspora. Then the question becomes, Ambassador, how are we going to fund this? I said, that's easy. We got 50 million in this country, 41 African Americans and about 9 million continental Africans. If I just get 1 million of those to put aside $1,000 a year, $1 billion. Can we not do that? If I take 5 million, now we're only down to $200 a year. And we got $1 billion. And we take that money, we leverage it, and just keep it in the account. Don't touch it, just leverage it. And not put another penny. We can get $1 billion every year out of that money to build Wakanda. Can we not do that? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Hallelujah.
We can do this. We want the NGOs out of our countries. We want no more aid. Aid is killing us. We don't need aid because we are very capable of taking care of ourselves, especially you, us, diaspora, to whom much is given, much is expected. We can do this. We live in this wonderful, great country. When my last conversation with Chairman Zuma, she said to me, my sister, if sustainable development is going to come to Africa, it's going to be brought by the diaspora, but not just any diaspora, the diaspora in America. The diaspora in America. Think about it. There's something unique about being a diaspora in this country. We already live as Americans, not as Californians, not as Floridians, but Americans. Subconsciously, we're already integrated. So moving into Africa is a piece of cake. So the African leaders and my chairman, Musa Faki Mahamat, they're very clear that in order for Africa to move forward, the children of Africa in the diaspora must be front, middle, and end of it all. So I look forward to our conversations, but I hope that we can all be in the right spirit and agree that we must speak as one continent, one Africa, one voice. Thank you.
All right, guys, this is powerful. I can tell you, it comes to a point whereby we need really to realize our full potential. And even as she has related very clear that Africa has got the opportunity. Africa has what it takes to, to place that landmark globally. But again, if Africa cannot realize or wake up from its slumber, it's going to be too late. And we are not going really to blame anybody. If there is somebody that you're going to blame, there's going to be the Africans. So Africans, even as she has put it, that the people who are going to see this one, to jumpstart, to kickstart the old creation of the Wakanda, is going to be the Africans in the diaspora. So Africans in the diaspora, if you're listening to this one here, and maybe you came across this one, I can tell you these. I feel like we are blessed, and not only just by being told by other people. First of all, you see, we are being blessed just by hearing from other people also. Other people tell us that, hey, you guys, you're blessed. How comes that you're wrangling and suffering in poverty? Food security, as she said, must be the thing of the past. Access to power, thing of the past. Access to health care system, this should be the thing of the past by this particular century. Access to proper medical attention and other things in amenities like education should be a thing of the past. And I find that I 100% concur and agree with the lady with Dr. Chihombori Kwa, if we can embrace that spirit, that desire, that burning desire that she has, the great things, greater things, great things will follow Africa. So it is high time that we really need to realize that which role, at what specific levels are we going to play our roles. At this particular level here, we play some good roles, and you know, like everybody here is a stage, everybody has a role to play. From this particular end here, I'm enlightening, I'm trying to remind, because reflecting on the past archives, this particular video here, it is in the past, and it's high time that I've also listened to it, and I find that all sentiments and arguments and all ideas that she presents here, they are applicable even in this particular, you know, year that we are in. So if you guys are feeling me, do drop me a comment, of course, in the comment section. Let me get also to hear from you what you think of this, as we are also trying to embrace our identity in the global platform. Cheers and stay safe.